Hey everyone, and welcome. I am so incredibly excited to have you here for this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a truly timeless story. It's all about effort, success, and those mental frameworks that bridge the gap between the two. You know, if you've ever felt like you're putting in all the hard work, but just kind of not seeing the results, well, you are in the exact right place. We're going to look at this beautiful narrative that perfectly captures some ancient wisdom and shows us exactly how to apply it to our modern struggles. So let's just get right into it. Okay, let's dive into this. What happens when your absolute best simply isn't enough? Seriously, have you ever poured your heart and soul into a project, maybe a goal or a new skill, only to watch it just completely crash and burn? Man, it is literally one of the most frustrating feelings ever. To understand how to navigate this, our source material introduces us to a young protagonist. His name is Arjun. Now, Arjun lives in this breathtakingly beautiful village, completely surrounded by lush green mountains. But, despite this totally idyllic setting, Arjun is currently facing that exact frustrating reality. Section 1. Arjun's falling kite and a cycle of failure. And this brilliantly illustrates his core conflict. You see, every great story starts with a passion, right? And for Arjun, that passion was flying his small red kite. He'd run out into these open fields, just desperately wanting to watch it soar. On one side, we have Arjun's dream, that little red kite catching the perfect breeze and soaring high above the mountains. But on the other side is his harsh reality. No matter how fast he ran, there was a glaring problem. His kite was constantly crashing to the ground. It was this endless cycle of excitement, followed immediately by failure. And honestly, I think we can all relate to that huge gap between what we envision in our minds and what actually happens when we try to execute it in the real world. But then, the stakes are suddenly raised. The village announces a grand kite festival. And this isn't just any regular festival. The ultimate prize is this magnificent golden trophy shaped like a flying bird. Now, this trophy, it represents the absolute pinnacle of external validation. And at first, Arjun is totally thrilled by the idea of it. But, you guessed it, that excitement is super quickly overshadowed by deep fear and sadness. He looks at his track record, he looks at his constantly crashing red kite, and the self-doubt just creeps right in. He literally tells himself, there's no way, I will never be able to win. Section 2. Timeless Wisdom and the Mentor. So the crucial point is how Arjun handles this. He's feeling completely defeated before the competition even begins, right? But in the midst of all this sadness, he encounters his mentor, his grandmother. She sees his frustration, gives him a really warm smile, and drops this profound piece of philosophical wisdom derived straight from the ancient text of the Bhagavad Gita. She says, "Do your work with all your effort, and do not worry about the results." Now, think about that for a second. At first, Arjun doesn't completely understand this. It sounds a bit contradictory, doesn't it? Like, how on earth can you work hard for a golden trophy, but not worry about winning the golden trophy? But despite being kind of confused, he decides to trust her and give this mindset a genuine try. What his grandmother is actually teaching him here is the foundational concept of karma yoga. It's the practice of acting mindfully and with immense effort, while actively detaching yourself emotionally from the final outcome or the prize. Basically, it means uncoupling your self-worth from that golden bird trophy. So instead of focusing your mental energy on winning or losing, you channel 100% of your energy into the action itself, the actual physical mechanics of flying the kite. It's a real game changer. Section 3. The Road of Trials in Translating Philosophy. Now, what's really interesting about this is how he applies it. Because, adopting a new philosophy is great and all, but just shifting your mindset doesn't magically remove the physical obstacles in your path. Gravity is still gravity. The wind is still unpredictable. So notice how Arjun translates this abstract ancient wisdom into actionable, mindful practice. First, step 1. He learns to hold the string tightly, establishing total control. Step 2, he learns to wait patiently for the wind, understanding that he just can't force the conditions. And step 3, which is probably the most absolutely crucial one, he learns not to panic when the kite starts to come down. He completely removes that immediate emotional reaction from the failure. But, of course, it wasn't a totally smooth ride. Not at all. The text makes it very clear that Arjun faced some harsh realities. I mean, he still failed repeatedly. Sometimes his little red kite literally tore apart. Other times there was just simply no wind at all, no matter how perfectly he held the string. But here is the key difference. Through all of these torn kites and windless days, Arjun kept the teachings of the Gita right there in his heart. He just kept working, completely untethered from the frustration of the result. Section 4, the Great Kite Festival and the Ultimate Test. So the day of reckoning finally arrives, and the atmosphere is just electric. Our source paints this incredibly vibrant, almost overwhelming picture of the field that day. Just try to visualize the scene for a second. The sky is absolutely filled with massive, colorful kites, bright blues, yellows, greens, and these brilliant, shiny silver ones. There are loud drums beating in the background. Children are laughing and running everywhere. I mean, the sky basically looks like a chaotic, beautiful rainbow. And right in the middle of this intense, noisy, highly competitive environment steps Arjun, just holding his simple little red kite. Let's see how this builds, because in the midst of all this chaos, Arjun doesn't look at the golden trophy, he doesn't look at the massive silver kites flying around him, he simply takes a deep breath, centers his mind, and launches his red kite. And because of his patient, mindful practice, the kite catches the wind perfectly. It goes up and up and up. It flies higher than the tall trees. It flies higher than the massive temple tower in the village. In fact, it soars higher than every single other kite in the sky. And the result? Oh man, the entire village just erupts. Everyone starts clapping and cheering with absolute joy. Because he focused entirely on the effort and totally let go of his fear of the result, Arjun actually secures the ultimate prize. He wins the singular, coveted Golden Bird Trophy. No way, right? It actually worked. Section 5. The true meaning of success, beyond the trophy. Now, it would be so easy to stop the story right here and just celebrate the big win. But while Arjun was obviously incredibly happy to receive the golden bird, the text explicitly notes that his greatest joy wasn't the metal object itself. Nope, his greatest joy was the profound realization that his patience, his mindful practice, and his self-belief were the actual vehicles of his victory. He really internalized this final lesson. A calm mind and hard work bring success. The trophy? Well, that was just a byproduct. The real reward was who he became in the process. And we know this because every single evening after that festival, his little red kite continued to dance happily in the sky. He didn't stop flying just because he won. He flew because he had truly mastered the art of the effort. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to turn this directly over to you. Think about it. What is the red kite that you need to patiently fly in your own life today? What is that goal or that project or that dream that you've been white-knuckling, stressing over the results, and watching crash to the ground? How can you apply Arjun's framework of Karma Yoga right now? Focus on the string, wait for the wind, and let go of the trophy. Just put in the immense effort and trust the process. Thank you so much for joining me to unpack this wonderful story. Keep learning, keep practicing, and I will see you in the next one.